This was the events of May 22nd, 2011. For most people in Joplin, Missouri, it began like a typical late spring day. It was warm, humid, and unstable, but by the late afternoon, the atmosphere over southwest Missouri had become something far more dangerous. A powerful supercell was forming, and within it, a tornado that would soon become one of the deadliest in modern U.S. history. This is the story of the Joplin EF5 tornado. Earlier that day, the ingredients for severe weather were already in place. A strong low-pressure system was moving through the central United States, colliding with warm, moisture-rich air from the Gulf of Mexico. The National Weather Service had already issued a tornado watch for the region, but by late afternoon, storm chasers and meteorologists were tracking a rapidly intensifying supercell southwest of Joplin. Radar began showing tightening rotation, and then just before 5 p.m., a tornado warning was issued. At approximately 5:34 p.m., the tornado touched down just west of Joplin. At first it moved through open land, snapping trees and damaging rural areas, but it was growing fast. Within minutes, it intensified from a weak tornado into a violent, long-track EF4 to EF5 strength system. Its forward speed increased, and its structures became more organized. This was no longer a brief landspill or weak funnel. This was a monster on a direct path towards a city of over 50,000 people. As the tornado approached the western edge of Joplin, it rapidly widened into a wedge. Radar estimates later suggested it reached nearly 1 mile in width at the peak intensity. Winds exceeded 200 miles per hour, qualifying it as an EF5 tornado on the enhanced Fujita scale. Homes were obliterated almost instantly. Entire neighborhoods on the southwest side of the city were flattened. Vehicles were thrown and mangled beyond recognition. This also includes the horrific events of multiple buildings, such as the school, being destroyed. The tornado crossed multiple major roadways, including Range Line Road, one of Joplin's busiest commercial corridors. This is where the destruction became catastrophic. Along Range Line Road, businesses were packed with Sunday evening traffic. Restaurants, shops, and stores were in full operation when the tornado arrived. Within seconds, buildings were completely leveled. Cars were thrown into structures or piled together. Large debris fields formed across entire blocks. Survivors later described it as a freight train-like sound, but constant, overwhelming, and inescapable. A major hospital, St. John's Regional Medical Center, was heavily damaged, forcing emergency evacuations while treating incoming victims. The tornado did not weaken as it crossed the city. It maintained extreme intensity throughout the urban core. This is where the Joplin tornado reached its most violent phase. Entire residential blocks were erased. Well-built homes were swept clean from foundations. Some trees were completely debarked. Many ground scarring occurred in some areas, indicating extreme wind forces associated with EF5 damage. Emergency responders were overwhelmed almost immediately. Communication systems failed in parts of the city due to power loss and infrastructure collapse. Within minutes, Joplin had been fundamentally changed. After tearing through the heart of the city, the tornado moved northeast. It gradually began to weaken, but still caused EF3 to EF4 level damage as it left urban areas. More homes were destroyed on the outskirts. Debris was carried miles away with personal belongings found far outside the main damage path. Finally, after traveling approximately 22 miles, the tornado lifted near the town of Granby, but the damage it left behind was unimaginable. In the aftermath, when the storm passed, Joplin was unrecognizable, with 158 people dead, more than 1,000 people injured, over 7,000 homes damaged or destroyed. Entire neighborhoods were erased from the map. It became one of the deadliest tornadoes in U.S. history. Recovery took multiple years, rebuilding took longer, and for many residents, life would never feel the same again. The Joplin EF5 wasn't just a weather event, it was a reminder of how quickly conditions can shift from calm skies to catastrophic destruction. May 22nd, 2011 is a date that will never be forgotten. In this next section, you will read about the rumors of the butterfly people of Joplin, or the angels of Joplin. In the days following the Joplin tornado, the city wasn't just dealing with physical destruction. It was dealing with shock, grief, and stories. Not everything that spread in those early days came from official reports or verified accounts. In disaster zones, information moves fast, and so do rumors, interpretations, or personal stories that become distorted over time. Some of these accounts came from informal conversations in shelters, online posts, and word-of-mouth retellings among survivors. One of the unusual rumors was the angels of Joplin, or winged silhouettes seen during the height of the tornado. According to these stories, certain individuals, especially children, claimed they saw figures moving through the breeze or appearing in moments of extreme confusion and fear. These descriptions varied widely. Some say they saw people with wings. Some described a guardian angel-type presence that felt protective during the storm. There were no official reports, no verified eyewitness documentation, no photographic or radar evidence supporting these claims. But in the emotional aftermath of a disaster as violent as Joplin, stories like these can emerge not as facts, but as interpretations of survival among extreme trauma. Psychologists who study disaster response know that in moments of time and intense distress, the human brain can misinterpret motion, light, debris pattern, and sound, especially in environments filled with chaos, darkness, and dust. Combine that with the fear, adrenaline, shock, and memories can become deeply symbolic over time. Still, for those who shared or heard these stories, they often carried emotional weight, not as literal accounts of what happened. While some people claim that the butterfly people were just people with flayed skin, this is unlikely because there is no formal evidence or anything else. The angels of Joplin could surely be a rumor that the kids never reported, but you can never know. In Joplin, fact and feeling become intertwined in the aftermath of the storm. And while the official record tells the story of wind speed and damage and loss, the human memory tells a more complicated story. This was the story of the Joplin EF5.